The Boondocks is an animated series that first aired on Adult Swim in November of 2005. In this show, we watch the crazy lives of brothers Huey and Riley Freeman as they live with their eccentric granddad. Huey is very smart and aware of what's going on at all times, the type of person you wouldn't want to get into a debate with. He's also very good at fighting, and wins against Riley almost every time. Riley is the definition of always into something. Riley has seen and done it all, from Thugnificent to Gangstalicious. He's very ambitious and loves rap music. This gets him in some tough but exciting situations throughout the show. Their granddad, Robert, just wants to live his life, but the kids always seem to be doing something that gets his attention or gets him mad. The Boondocks was a massive success for Adult Swim, and is one of the best shows ever made. The writing is second to none, and the animation is beautiful. The Boondocks is one of those shows that has very memorable episodes. This show was a mainstay on Adult Swim, but what would it have been like if it aired on Fox? Well, in the early 2000s, we almost found out. Many fans of the show aren't aware that the Boondocks actually started as a comic strip in the late 90s. The characters looked a little different than the designs we all recognize today. The comic was first published on hitlist.com, and after gaining popularity, it was in the Source magazine. Creator of the Boondocks, Aaron Magruder, started pitching the comics for an animated series and to be a syndicated comic strip. This project seemed to finally find its footing as it was published in newspapers, and Fox was interested in making the show. In 2003, Fox ordered a 7-minute pilot for the Boondocks. Development began, and Magruder ran into problems from the get-go. The story he wanted to tell wasn't lining up with what Fox thought was acceptable for their viewers. The Fox network put many limitations on the Boondocks, but Aaron Magruder pushed through development, and a 7-minute pilot episode was finished. Months later, it was announced that Fox rejected the Boondocks. Magruder spoke on this experience in an interview, saying that he tried his best to make a Fox show, but broadcast television is a very restrictive place, adding that it's tough to be funny because there is so much money at stake, and that it's tough to be daring and do something different in regards to content or even structure. It's really a rigid landscape, and you can honestly see it in the show. After Fox passed on the Boondocks, Cartoon Network was interested in adding the show to their late-night block, Adult Swim. Then Vice President of Programming for Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, Mike Lazo, watched the Fox pilot and said it felt watered down. He told Aaron Magruder that, due to the less restrictive policies at Adult Swim, he would be able to make the show that he wanted to make. Cartoon Network picked up the Boondocks, and this amazing show finally found its home on Adult Swim. Unfortunately, the 2003 Fox pilot has never been available for public viewing until May 7th of 2016, when Boondocks producer Carl Jones posted a short clip online.
I told them you didn't start the fight, but they wouldn't.
It's okay. No good deed goes unpunished.
Thank you.
Oh, hell no! You got a sandwich from that hoe?
For years, this short clip was the only found footage from the pilot until, finally, just a few days ago, out of nowhere, YouTuber The Storyteller uploaded the full Boondocks pilot episode. Now, we can watch the rejected Fox pilot that we've been so curious about for all these years. Once the episode begins, we can see that Huey and Riley look a little different, with the most notable change being their hair. Huey steps on Riley's Air Force Ones, and then we get our first granddad appearance. I'm glad to hear that he was still voiced by the legendary John Witherspoon, and that He's the same wild and wacky granddad we all know and love. During the episode, we can hear a radio DJ say that, "I just heard R. Kelly's new hit called Inappropriate." And now, on our Friday double play, here's another one by R. Kelly called Disturbing. It's crazy that 20 years later, R. Kelly is behind bars, and this DJ's comments are more relevant than ever. After a speech by Granddad, we transition to the next scene and get introduced to Tom and Jasmine. Jasmine looks really cool here, and Tom looks about the same. As Tom goes on a rant about how he used to get bullied, Jasmine's mom walks in. Maybe it's the animation style, but she just seems so generic here. Then Huey and Riley are in detention for a fight. Jasmine comes to the window, and then the music plays. Now, we can make sense of the 16-second clip that we've seen over and over again. After this, Granddad pays a visit to the hilariously twisted Uncle Ruckus. Ruckus looks a tad different, but not too much, and we can tell by this scene that he was pretty much going to be the same character as here, although he does seem a bit nicer. After a conversation, Granddad decides to leave. When he gets home, we see him and Huey playing soccer against each other on the PlayStation 2. After beating Huey at the game, Granddad tells them to go to bed, and the episode ends. For all these years, we've always heard that this pilot episode is very watered down, but after actually watching the episode, I disagree. It doesn't shy away from using mature language, and almost has the same energy and dialogue that we see in the final show. Ever since I started covering Lost Media in 2019, the Boondocks pilot has been one of my favorite pieces of Lost Media, and I'm glad we can now all watch this great pilot episode. I would like to know what you think about the pilot, so let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and we can all sleep great tonight, knowing this case of Lost Media has finally been put to rest. Until next time, stay up late productions.